everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and I've been doing a little bit of reading on the CIA website. Yeah, there's so much out there in government documents that most people just don't know exist. And so I wanted to bring this to you. I am working on another video, but it's taking me longer than I thought, and I'm kind of tired from everything that's been going on this week. But I thought maybe some of you might enjoy going through these files and see what all there is to see. Now, I've bumped it up so it's bigger, but that will work out for the text later on. And like I said, it usually helps with people who have eyesight problems, or if you're on your cell and it's a small screen. So I try to make it a little bit bigger so you can actually see what it says. Anyway, this is the main page here when you get into this kind of thing about the publications. These are the publications that you can go to and you can find out about. Now, as a world languages teacher, I taught French and Spanish. I use this World Factbook a lot because you can go in and you can find out what the CIA has discovered about different countries. Now, of course, it's not anything intelligence-wise, but it will tell you some basic history. It will tell you like their currency, it tells their languages, population, those kinds of things. So it was very useful to me as a French and Spanish teacher. And then, of course, intelligence history. I thought that one was interesting. Yeah, intelligence history. Is there intelligence? They have a Center for the Study of Intelligence. I wonder if they found any. It's in our government. I don't know. But anyway, that has some other publications that you can go to and you can see. They've just got a whole list. I mean, it's a whole list of them. Look. Lots and lots. So if you like to do research, this is a great place to go and find stuff. They have a Freedom of Information Act electronic reading room, and you can find things on there. Information on world leaders, CIA maps, lots of different stuff going on. It's very interesting to go to the website and see what they have to say. So we go to the library. And we see this is the Freedom of Information Act electronic reading room. And they do give you more information here, but they also give you these different forms. The FOIA, Freedom of Information Act electronic reading room, that's what this is based on. And so they do have reports about the FOIA requests. Look, it says, do UFOs fascinate you? Are you a history buff who wants to learn more about the Bay of Pigs, Vietnam, or the A-12 ox cart? They have all different kinds of stuff. Have stories about spies always fascinated you? So it is interesting, and especially if you would happen to be a writer and you like to write spy stories or something like that, this could be a really good resource for you. But anyway, you can go down here and you can get different information. What I wanted to talk about in this is the PDB. A PDB is the President's Daily Brief. PDB is what they call it. And the PDB has been going on for quite a while. In January 1946, however, President Harry Truman directed the newly formed Central Intelligence Group, that's the predecessor of the CIA, to provide him with a coordinated intelligence report known as the Daily Summary. This report evolved over the years and its name has changed. It's now called the President's Daily Brief, or PDB. So the PDB is for the president's eyes only, but they have declassified a whole big bunch of them. So you can see the ones from 46, 47, 48. Here's the page. When you take that, you can go and see the different ones that they have here. This is what the February 15th to 9th of March 1946. It looks like this. So you can see it's got the date up here. Definitely in a time before there were computers. Yes, young people, there was a time before computers, and people actually used this machine called a typewriter. So, this is typewritten, and then they had to scan it in. So you can go through. It's only a couple pages here. It's not very long, but it's just interesting to see. And if you're a history buff, you might actually find some things here that are interesting for you to read, because it deals with a lot of things that were going on in that time period. Very interesting. And there are all kinds that you can find, like you can get a little later even. This is from January 21st, 1969. That's the day right after Nixon was inaugurated. So that one is here, and it was called the President's Daily Brief at that time. Here's the date, and it was top secret, so you can see top secret documents. Okay, they're not top secret anymore, but they were at one time. So this one goes through, deals a lot with the Middle East. So if you are interested in things going on in the Middle East, very interesting. It talks a lot about the Iraqis, and Iraq, which has no common border with Israel, presumably is driven by its own serious internal difficulties to appear the most Arab of all the Arab states. I thought that was kind of an interesting comment there. But anyway, you can go on, and it does say for the president only. These were things that were made specifically for the President of the United States to see and to keep him up on the happenings around the world. Pompidou was at the time the President of France, and so I always like that name, Pompidou. It just is a fun name to say. Has a really interesting museum there in Paris, too, that's called the Pompidou. It was named after him. Anyway, so it goes on, Soviet affairs, because, at the time it was the Soviet Union. And so some of it's redacted. Yep, still redacted. But you can see some of the other things they were discussing. There's about Vietnam and everything, and they have the maps. They talk about Vietnam here. The enemy appears through these actions to be seeking control over a greater segment of the population. Yeah, so this is what they were telling the president. This is the information they gave to the president. Now, this one is considerably longer. It's 18 pages. As this went on, they included a lot more information. Or maybe our intelligence gathering just got so much better because of technology and everything. But that's what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to show you about the President's Daily Brief. Now you know what they kind of look like. I'm sure they've evolved since 1969, but this is the basic idea of what it's like. And these are the kinds of things that will be found in it. So I thought it was kind of an interesting read to find out what kinds of things are in that President's Daily Brief. So now I know, I've got an idea what it's like. It helps me when I learn about it, but here's the most important thing about them. These things are on record, okay? So we have, even though we the people may not be able to see them, they do exist. All of the PDBs for President Obama. Now, don't you want to know what was going on the president's daily brief during that transition time period when all of a sudden, hey, Hillary didn't win? We've got to come up with Plan B because we never thought she'd lose, right? So, kind of interesting. It's there. We just don't know what they say. But I tend to think that there's some information in those that could very well blow the top off of things because, you see, President Trump can go back and read those. He has clearance to do that, so he knows what was in those PDBs. Isn't that an interesting thought? So keep that in mind when you think about the President's Daily Brief. Every day they get these and they're all on record. What do you think it's going to be like 50 years from now when they declassify those? Ooh, could be interesting. So much of this is going to be coming out in the very near future. Just think about it. You not only have Obama's PDBs, but you've got Bush's PDBs, George H.W. Bush's PDBs. They're all there, all archived. We just haven't seen them yet. One day they're going to be declassified and we're going to get to see what they were being told. So that's what I've got for you today. I want to thank you for stopping by and I'll see y'all later.